What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Luke Innes here. It's been a while since I reviewed anything shitty. I've managed to get away with it for a little while. I mean, there's been a couple of mediocre movies that I've reviewed, but nothing really shitty. And that's because I've managed to avoid watching shitty movies for the most part for a little while. That's about to change today, because last night I watched Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy. So the movie's based on the book The Jewel of the Seven Stars, which also served as the basis for Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, the Hammer movie. The movie's directed by Jeffrey O'Brien, stars Lou Gossett Jr. The plot essentially sees an Egyptologist unleash the curse of the mummy's tomb, I guess, and end up in some sort of coma, and there's tons of people around him and they kind of talk and shit happens, and then eventually it turns out one of them has like the curse on them and something, I don't know, man. This movie was horrible. Basically, if I had to describe this movie, if you ever watch like late night satellite movie channels on Sky or whatever, and you see sort of one of the sort of 90s softcore erotic movies on, or one of the later Emmanuel movies or any of that sort of thing, this is a very similar standard, and in all sorts of ways, in terms of the production values, the acting, the directing, everything about it. You know, this could be one of those movies. I mean, Lou Gossett Jr., bless him, he gives it a good go, but this film is irredeemable, I've got to say. Half of the problem is in the basis of the movie. I mean, there's next to no action. It's mostly just people talking about the action. And that's not to say that, you know, dialogue is a terrible thing, but you just want something to happen. All of the characters are really flimsy stereotypes. You know, you've got the elderly God-fearing woman, slightly mistreated daughter, and there's this one guy, and I'm not even sure why he's in the movie because he serves next to no purpose, but he's this most stereotypical English cop from Scotland Yard that's there for some reason. I don't really know. It's just all really terrible in that way. I don't understand acting this bad. I mean, it's got to be said that the standard of the production is really, really terrible. I mean, the scenes where they're in kind of Egyptian tombs and stuff look like they're like you know, high school production standards. You know, it's really, really not good. So what have we covered? We've covered the acting, we've covered the sets, the effects. Now, the effects are barely even effects. There's only a handful and they're really simple. And that's the other problem as well, is that the mummy is barely in it. There's like 4 or 5 shots with a mummy even in it. You know, I've got the DVD cover here, and I mean, they've got the balls to advertise it with, you know, the face of a mummy on the cover, and the mummy only turns up, you know, like I say, in about 5 shots. But, you know, the ending kind of, and I'm not spoiling it, but, you know, at the end of the movie, once it's all climaxed and finished, they just have a really gratuitous sex scene for no real reason for a minute or so, and then they have this big twist ending that you could see coming from Bradford. Dude, what? Like, really? It's gone from just being something that I would compare to a late 90s low budget softcore erotica movie to being a late 90s low budget softcore erotica movie for a minute or two. After that's done, all the cheesy music is over. It goes back to the same old standard of acting and dialogue and production values, and the twist happens and I want to kill myself because it's so terrible. So the scenes where the curse kind of takes hold of people are hilarious. That's one positive I will give it, and even though it's an unintentional thing. Take, for example, a movie that's really kind of, you know, a cult movie, Pieces. The scene where the woman is given the agent to paralyse her in her tea, or coffee or whatever it is. You know, she's you know, acting paralysed. It's like that. It's that sort of standard thing. It's this invisible force that gets people, but it's not shot in a clever way. They've obviously just set the camera running and said, okay, this evil force is coming for you. Just act like you're trying to get away from some sort of evil that's killing you, that's invisible. And okay, 3, 2, 1, action, and then they've shot it. That's it. You know, with that kind of involuntary stuff, I can't really give it extra marks for that. I mean, the music is kind of whatever. It's just, you know, stock music off file. It's pretty generic horror music. So I guess I can't knock it too much on that front, but it is probably the best thing about the movie, I've got to say. Aside from the occasional unintentional comedy, this film doesn't have many redeeming features. Overall, I guess I'm kind of, I'm leaning towards, I almost want to say 2, but I think it's a 3. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. So yeah, this movie's awful. Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy. Please don't watch it. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Luke Innes. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please leave me a comment down below if you've seen the movie. I'd imagine it's unlikely, but if you have, let me know what you thought. I will also leave a link in the description box to my podcast. It's called Ironcast. If you're into music, please go and check that out, because that is my main focus in terms of content creating. We're coming up on our 50th episode now, so why not come along and join the party and become an Ironcast fan. But until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.